Carl Singh reportedly back on duty. Man in custody for Regent Street shooting. 3 more wanted for $58 million gold heist. And case against natural gas. Stop the addiction before it starts. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Region 9 REO Carl Singh, who reportedly shot a 25-year-old woman to her abdomen in Letham, has returned to duty, although the office of the DPP is still to advise on whether he is to be charged with a crime. Starbreak News is unable to confirm when exactly Singh returned to duty, but reliable sources said that he was at work yesterday. But, like I said before, this is shaping up to become another Gary Best, I'm sure of it. As investigators continue to hunt for the 2 gunmen who killed Brazilian Euclid da Silva on Tuesday night, a known individual who is accused of recently threatening the dead man's son surrendered to the police yesterday. Crime Chief Wendell Blunham said the man was immediately detained for questioning. He remains in police custody up until last night. Minister Anthony says that permission will be needed from parents before the vaccines can be administered to their children. Consent forms are already being distributed to the parents as the nation anticipates the arrival of vaccines that have received emergency use authorization to be administered to children. Children under 18 cannot legally decide for themselves, so their parents will have to give consent. They also noted that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have emergency use authorization for children 12 years and up. The cops are looking for 3 more suspects in last week's $58 million gold robbery. They are Antonio Mirage, Daquan King, and Jamal Hazel. Mirage and Hazel are suspected to have been 2 of the 3 robbers who were recorded carrying out the crime, while Daquan is the suspected getaway driver. Are you one of the chosen few that benefits from duty-free? Good for you! Check out these amazing vehicles that just arrived at Best Buy Auto Sales. This 2016 Toyota Harrier Grand Sport Edition, this 2014 Range Rover Evoque, and this 2016 Lexus RX 200T are all on sale. They are all fully loaded and come with all modern features. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you to get in on a sweet deal. PPP-nominated Commissioner Says Gunaraj on Thursday said he believes local government elections were still possible this year. There were at least 5 major vacancies to be filled at GCOM. At a minimum, the vacant post of Chief Elections Officer will have to be filled. GCOM is also without a Chief Accountant and a Legal Officer. But it shouldn't be too hard, as some $1.1 billion has already been allocated for local government elections in the 2021 national budget. The preparation will entail the printing of ballot papers abroad and the training of hundreds of polling day staff. Additionally, $18 million was allocated for the training of 8,500 persons. Police in the Northwest District arrested 5 persons after the battered body of 34-year-old fisherman Shahid Mohammed was discovered in the Aruka River yesterday morning. There appeared to be marks of violence on the right side of his neck and right eye. Mohammed was reported missing on August 10th by his boat crew's captain. The crew captain also claimed that Mohammed was last seen in the company of 2 females before the report was made. The 2 females, along with 3 of Mohammed's crew members, have since been detained by police. This morning, former Superbet employee 21-year-old Shanika Mingo was charged with embezzling over $300,000 in her boss's name. This was in connection with the fake robbery in Potentia last week. Shanika Toilet Money Mingo pleaded not guilty. She was released on $100,000 bail and will be back in court September 10th. Don't miss the grand 50% off sale and get a free 1-month digital Prime bundle plan available at City Mall, Starbucks Square, Regent and Light Street, Marcy Turkine, and Marcy Providence. Shop early, limited stocks available. It's now time for today's Rona Report. Today, the nation recorded 100 new cases. There are now 570 persons dead, 14 in the ICU, 761 in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 23,344. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. As of yesterday, the Ministry of Health noted that 282,586 persons received the first shot so far, with 146,500 being fully vaccinated. Additionally, another 5,000 second doses of the Sputnik vaccine and 57,600 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines arrived in Guyana today. It was also announced that 100,000 US-made Pfizer vaccines would arrive in the nation by next month. These second doses of the Russian vaccines will be given to those individuals who received their first dose in May. Another shipment of the second doses is expected by next week. Yesterday, fishermen Philip Edmonds and Derek Balmickery were burned following the explosion of a gas bottle on board their vessel while on the Mahaica River. According to the police, a crew member decided to cook, and upon lighting the gas stove, the gas bottle exploded, causing the cabin to catch fire. The two were treated at a nearby hospital and discharged. You there, Mr. Truck Owner. A great place to get high-quality truck parts and engine spares for low prices is Powered Automotive. They stock parts for DAF, Freightliner, Mach, International, and all models of Cummins engines. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles or call them on 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Real thing. And now for our stupid news of the day. Know what I think is stupid? This month, the United Nations basically declared that global warming is already here, which is why half the world is currently on fire right now. And if we don't cut our addiction to oil immediately, we will quite literally burn to death in the next few decades. Now, that is if a disease or a hurricane or rising sea levels doesn't kill us out first. But the environmentalist turned oil baron Jadio disagrees. In a recent interview with The Newsroom, he said because of global trends of energy use, it's impossible for Guyana to completely reach 100% renewable energy by 2025. So we are just going to do like other countries and use natural gas as a transitional energy off of the currently used heavy fuel oil. He also said that the government has a goal to provide 500 megawatts of new power by 2025. So far, that includes $900 million for a 250 megawatt gas-to-shore project, $1 billion for a 160 megawatt Amila Falls hydropower project, and at least 30 megawatts of solar power. They didn't give a price for those 30 megawatts, but it's about 1 million US per megawatt of solar, so it's about $30 million. But let's say these contracts are especially corrupt, so that would come to about $40 million. And a couple random unnamed projects that will hopefully make up the remaining 60 megawatts to reach the 500. But the problem with that is the half of our power will still be from natural gas, an unrenewable resource that will run out for us in another 16 to 25 years. Honestly, I feel that with some innovative thinking, I think we can build a completely renewable energy grid within a decade and for less than that. Or, if it is more, then you can definitely bet that it will be worth it in the long run. For other countries, the transition to renewables will be as difficult as a junkie trying to drop a drug habit. But for us, we've never even touched the stuff. Whole states in America use more energy in a month than we currently do in a year. Since the government isn't going to reduce gas prices by refining our own oil, why don't we just sell out both the oil and gas to the foreigners? Let them deal with their oil addiction and their addiction to dinosaur juice and use that dirty money to make some clean energy here and actually make things comfortable for ourselves. Because if you ask me, saddling ourselves up with huge and controversial infrastructure projects that will take decades to repay is pretty stupid. Have a business and need access to more Goonby balls? Register it on one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Sign up for free on snap.gy and get your business listed today. And yes, you've heard me right, it's absolutely free. Get listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what should the government do for deportees? Joshua Jagmohan said, for deportees, I think the government should make sure they're safe when they arrive to this country. King Tut says they should provide deportees with all the basic services that will get them back on their feet, including vocational training. Sadly, the current state of affairs does not even support the citizens of the country, much less deportees. A sad reality, isn't that right? And finally, Troy DeWeaver said all deportees should become police officers because they are the only ones that can catch criminals in Guyana. So you're saying send a criminal to catch a criminal? We tried that with Roger Kahn and, well, you see how that turned out. So for tonight's question, I want to know, do you support the vaccination of children ahead of going back to school? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out Monday for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha-ha! Good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.